The following is an introduction to a series of CT PT Tester. This series includes some different models. Different models have some differences in functions and technical parameters. Customers can choose the corresponding model according to their needs. This series mainly tests the transformer ratio polarity and volt-ampere characteristic functions. Now let's choose any model. To give a brief introduction to its use. First, let's introduce the panel of the instrument. There are many terminals. This is a grounding column. This part is the various terminals for testing. There are 3 wiring diagrams. They correspond to the test port of the PT ratio polarity current method, the wiring port of the PT-CT volt-ampere characteristic, and the PT ratio polarity wiring port. This is the rotating cursor. Which is used to select and set parameters. This is the power amplifier switch, which is turned on after the instrument has set the corresponding parameters. Then it will have high voltage output. If this is not turned on, it will not output high voltage by default. This is the power switch and a power access port. Next, do a CT volt-ampere characteristic test. Start wiring. Connect the ground wire first. Then connect the K1 K2 terminals on the volt-ampere characteristic panel to the secondary side of the CT respectively. It should be noted that the unused secondary terminals of the current transformer need to be short-circuited. They cannot remain open circuit. Now plug in the power cord. Turn on the power switch. After entering the parameter interface, first select the CT current transformer. Then select its excitation. That is, the volt-ampere characteristic test to be done. This is a 600:5 CT. Select 5 amperes for the excitation current, and 500 volts for the excitation voltage. If you don't know what its excitation voltage is, you can set it to 500 first. If 500 does not reach the inflection point voltage, we can continue to add it. Now start the test. Turn on the power amplifier switch. Start the test and confirm. The result has come out. So it is okay to set the voltage to 500. If you can't reach this inflection point voltage, you can set it higher. Here is its error curve. Error curves of 5% and 10%. The results can be printed out. Next, let's do a CT ratio polarity test. 2 dedicated current wires are used for wiring here, and they are connected to the primary side of the transformer, respectively. 2 thin wires S1 S2 terminals are connected to the secondary side. The current wire is clamped to the primary side of the current transformer. The other one is connected to the lower end of one side. The secondary side is here. Turn on the power switch. After entering the parameter interface, select the ratio polarity. According to the nameplate, set it to 600 amperes on the primary side and 5 amperes on the secondary side. Turn on the power amplifier switch. Start the test. There is a reminder that all windings on the secondary side are prohibited from being open-circuited. OK. Here we see that the test result is 607:5. There is a small deviation, but it is also within the budget range. The result shows the actual current it measured. The test is over. Here is the corresponding instrument wiring diagram. There is usually no problem as long as you don't connect it wrong according to this diagram. There are 2 precautions. 1. When measuring CT, the secondary side of the transformer that is not connected to the instrument must be short-circuited. 2. When testing the volt-ampere characteristics of the voltage transformer, the X and N terminals must be grounded. The secondary winding of the voltage transformer is not allowed to be open when testing the current method. These are need to note. If you have other questions, please contact our sales.